everyone, it's Desiree, and we are here with day 16, but also part 2 of the Christmas junk journal that we are doing. Now remember, during the Christmas series, this is a 3-part, so it'll take 3 days within the series, but that doesn't mean we're not going to have extra things going throughout and all that fun stuff. So, for part 1, we constructed our double signature. We finally got it sewed in after I figured that out. I have these sitting here because I glued some lace into place there. We set our papers. We created our cover, the inside of it. We set our material in place. So here are the 2 signatures as they lay open, which is absolutely beautiful. So what I've done in the meantime, only because I can't get my sewing machine to come into the screen. I haven't figured that out yet, and honestly, I'm not figuring it out anytime soon. So what I've done is I like to add lace on the edge of my pages, fabric lace. Whether it's a straight stitch or a zigzag, I like it to hang off the page. Sometimes I will fold it over. Now, you don't have to sew this in. You can glue it in. If we look at our center, we have a piece of lace here and a piece of lace here, and you can see it's a different length, but they are glued into place. They are not sewn. So you don't have to sew anything in your junk journal. You can simply just glue your pieces in. There's just times where I do like the sewing, times where I don't. It really honestly all depends. When I have some really wide lace, I like to fold it over, so now I get this beautiful, you know, crocheted look coming out of the side. It doesn't have to go also the length, because when I close this, that sticks out nicely when it comes to that. I don't do every page. I do maybe 3 or 4 per signature. It all depends on how it works out. So that was where we've gotten so far. Okay. So what we're going to work on in part 2 is just the ephemera, the pockets, the tucks. So this video is going to go for a while. It's going to go for probably about an hour. It's going to be amazing if I can talk that long. That'll be fun. But we're just going to fill up this journal. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be everything. So I can guarantee you, though, this video will be 1 hour. And you're just going to watch me create. So pull out your stuff. Pull out your inks. Pull out your... If you work on a card, pull your stuff out for your card. If you're working on a junk journal, pull something out that you're doing for your junk journal. And just craft. We can just have fun crafting together. So for this, if you remember as well, I actually am using a digital kit. And that digital kit is by Shabby Tabby Studios. And again, it'll be linked down there. Again, it's different. It's a grungy Christmas. But I just fell in love with it when I saw it. I love the look of it. I love the feel of it. Yes, it's different to have the black going around the papers. But you know what? Soot. Santa's got to come down the chimney, right? Yes, I still believe. So, you know, you have all of that dream going through it. So, but you can see my cover is still brown. My inside was stamped with brown. So just because it's got a black accent doesn't mean that it can't still sit in a brown journal like I have. So what I've done is the rest of the pieces of the digital kit I've cut down. Now this side here has all of the normal sizes, so you can have a lot of cards, you'll have a lot of tags, and so forth. Pockets, you know, there's some really neat pockets that we can fold up and then glue together onto other card stocks to make them a little firmer. There's envelopes, but we're going to also create our own envelopes and build those up. And then what I also did was I took those same items and I made them smaller in size, so that they were, you know, different size pieces to work on. So again, not a problem. We're good with that. Now, what I'm going to do while we're doing this, and again, I may break the video every so often. This is just my towel. I'm going to take this, I'm going to flip that upside down. I'm going to flip that upside down, flip that upside down. And I think that's it, actually. Oh, no, I want one. I want the other one of this. So I'm going to flip that upside down and flip those. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray these. I always keep a bottle of coffee in a sprayer very close to me. And I just want to spray them with some coffee. And by the time we get to them, they will be dry. There. So we'll pat those down on the tissue or on the towel, just to soak up some more of the spray. And then again, we'll set those aside and we will let those dry, or we will force them to dry. Okay. So these are the two bins that I'm going to pull from. Matter of fact, I'm going to take these, squish them down, and I'm just going to pile them there. So we're going to create all kinds of different things. I'm going to create some things with some paper clips. I'll create some of my charms. But the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to curl up a couple of my paper clips, because I do like to have just these different style of paper clips. Whoops. Sitting within the journal, because I will either use these to hold my foldouts that I create, or I'm going to use one of these envelopes that Shabby Tabby has created for the kit. And these clips will be perfect to hold them. Now, as I'm curling these, I'm trying to make sure that they are straight. Because if they're not, then they're just going to catch on to the paper and so forth. So what I'll do is I'll just make sure by twisting those, and then I'll rub my fingers along them to see if they catch. So that's one. Again, it's just a simple way to decorate up a paper clip. So I'm just going to do a couple of those. And again, I use the round pliers, and I just come in and I slide up, and then I just grab a hold and I start turning, and I start turning towards me. And then once I know I'm there, I can then tighten it up with the smaller tip so that it closes that gap. And then I'm going to do that same thing to this one here. And then just really, really close it in. I'm going to look down, make sure that it's straight. And then again, curl that in as well. Hold it. So now we've got 2. So you can see this will be perfect. Now probably what I could have done, now let's say you don't like coffee. You don't want to coffee stain your papers. That's fine. You do not have to. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to take one of her envelopes and I'm going to fold it up. And then I'm going to open this up. And all I'm going to do is, this is an old makeup brush that I had that I no longer use. And I'm just going to pick up some of my distress and I'm just going to go over the white. And what this is doing is it's dyeing down the brightness of the white, because I don't want that, you know, bright. That was a lot to say, but you can see it dulls it down. I mean, it's not too visible, but it's not so white either. Now, what I'm also going to do is I am going to come in and I'm going to go around these edges with the vintage photo. I've also pulled out my black soot that I can use as well. I'm going to go over the folds. All right. Now, with this, you can do a couple things. If you want this to be an envelope, all you would have to do is put glue along these sides here, and then fold it up, and you've got an envelope. Okay, you can certainly do that. And then we can decorate it, you know, with a little tiny tab and so forth. So, or you can just leave it like this and it's an entire journaling spot. That is completely up to you. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to put glue up the sides. And I would like to create a little pocket. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that there. And we'll look at the smaller ones. I want a small circle. I want a small circle. Not that one. All right. So these circles are 1 inch in diameter. So I have that. And I have this. Okay, now I need a piece. Looking for a scrap piece of craft. And of course I don't have it. Okay, let's see. Oh, there it is. Grabbed a whole bunch. So I'm going to grab my, oops, I'm going to grab my punch. I do like to put these 1 inch circles onto a piece of cardstock. I do like to print everything down on just regular copy paper. I really don't need it to be on cardstock. I find I work better with this type. I can layer it, I can add to it, I can make it thicker, I can tear it. There's a lot more that I can do when it comes to this than if I have it on cardstock. So I just use the general of the mill copying paper, nothing fancy. The cheaper the better, actually. And I think it prints out beautifully. Now these here are just clear discs that I've put over that. Whoops. And they adhere really, really well. And now though, since I have the cardstock here, I have a nice layer to adhere to that. So that's why I kind of did that. Okay, so if I take nope. A little piece of lace. Okay, I want to rip this in half. I do like the straggles, but sometimes they can be just a little bit overbearing. just saying. So I can put that there. And then put that there. So here's where I will use my Fabri-Tac. And then I will put this down. And again, what's great with, I'm knocking everything over here. What's great with a digital kit is you have everything included. That's what's really nice with it. You'll have some of the papers. Now, I use all of the papers, but I don't keep repeating the use of those. What I'll do is I fill in with my music sheet, my coffee stained, my ledger, my other plain papers that I have, and I'll fill in with those. Now I just like to put a little bit of pressure on this. So here we have our little envelope. Now, with the envelope, we can do a couple things. And I think what I'm going to do, before I knock everything else over, we are just going to pull some of the pieces here. So we have these. Now, what I like to do with this stuff is I will take it and I will set it up onto my cardstock. And then what I'll do is I will trim that down later. Now let's see, are these... Okay, so same thing with these. I will take them and just put them onto my cardstock, because then I can just trim it down. By adding the cardstock to it, I'm able to A, choose the color that I want. Now 9 out of 10, I am always choosing craft. There's just some things that I do consistently. One of them is definitely craft cardstock. There we go. And then I always do like to do, you know, my clips. So here's where I'll come in and I will cut around them. Sometimes I'll leave a border, sometimes I won't. This time I don't want to. Just going to cut right along that. There's one of our tags. And then here's the other one. Now, what these little cards can be, these are journaling cards. You know, we can write little tiny notes on the back of these. Maybe these are this envelopes for one specific memory. You know, then all of the memories can go throughout the cards. Whenever I am building my ephemera, let me grab those before I lose those, because we know that will happen. I'm just saying. When I build my ephemera, I only ever decorate one side. I never go to the other side. It's always just one. It's just something that I've always done. So these here, and again, what I can do, I can put a hole, and I'm going to use the small one. I can also put holes in these as well. I can line these up. I mean, why not? Who says that a tag has to look like a tag? Right? Right. That I'll leave alone. And there you go. And then we can just take some twine. Now I'm just going to keep an eye on my time. I'm at 20 minutes right now, so that means that I'll be stopping the video soon, actually. Because I don't want it to be longer, or much more longer than an hour. But at least you'll see some of the ephemera, how I create some of it, how I've put some of it together. And then always in part 3, maybe we'll make some more. But I'll definitely also show you, you know, how it was all put together. This one here, as I said, is all the ephemera, the extra pieces, because part 3 is going to look at the cover and the pockets and the tucks. So these are all the side pieces that are going to fill up those areas. So I'll probably have way too many because I do enjoy making this stuff. So see, I have 3 little tiny tags, little places to journal. I can put them in here and let those tags hang out. And what's great is, since I have a paper clip, this can hold it onto the page. So I'll put a clip on that. So we'll set that aside because we've finished that one. So here we have some tags or some cards. Here we have a larger envelope type thing. Here are some larger tags. So again, you can take all of these and create, you know, your ephemera that way. And we'll do that. I mean, we will create our tags. These will be our bases for that. But again, I do like to take these and set these up onto some cardstock. And again, it's just to help them keep their shape a little bit. Or I do like to also adhere these onto some coffee stained paper, which I will do that with some of these. Again, it just gives it a different look on the other side. And you can see I do have, I always keep all of this. Like this is, you know, this got torn as I was making it, but this is a great piece for a scrap. So let me pull that out, and I'm going to put these, just a few of these down. So I'm going to put that one on that. And I will put this one on the coffee paper as well. So I do enjoy using a digital kit. I will use it along with my stamps that I have, because again, what we have in our stash, we can certainly use as well. So I do like to combine the two when it comes to that. I love digital kits for the fact that it's really quick for them to give you the basis, the foundation, because you can use the papers any way you want to use them. If you want to use them as your book pages, you can use them as your book pages. If you want to tear up those book pages and create your ephemera with them, you can certainly do that as well. So you do have a lot of options when it comes to a digital kit. You can resize it. You can print it down as many times as you want. You just can't sell it. Say that it's yours. Don't do that. But you can resize it just like I did with this one. And you can create all sizes, all types of different sizes of ephemera and so forth. So you do have those options. So if you don't have stamps or anything like that, a digital is a nice way to go. And there's so many available, which is great. There's so many talented designers out there. Okay, so I'm just going to trim these up. Now you can let these the way that they are, or you can layer on top of them. And I haven't figured out if I'm going to layer, oh, don't always that, if I'm going to layer on top. So they're all set. You know, there are some strange sounds going on outside. I'm sorry if you're hearing them. It sounds like somebody's building something out there. And I know no one is. So as I trim these, so you can see I have that backing on those, or I can just have the plain cardstock. You know, both look great. I will still come in and go around the outside with the vintage photo. Now I can also come in with the black soot. Since these are already brown, very gingerly, I can come in around with the black soot. Again, you've got that feel and that vibe that's going around. Now the black soot will get better because I won't continually put that onto the tag. And again, I can just continue to accent what she's already designed into her digital component. So again, just going around, even on the brown, we can use black soot going around all of this brown. And I can smear it. Now, for my black soot, I am using my Distress Oxide. I thought it would be softer, but as you can see, it's just, you know, wah, it's there, which again is absolutely fine. So now what I can do, I can also now line these up just to save time. And we'll punch a hole. Sorry about that. Now, what I'm going to do, I want to see what these would look like. These are reinforcements. I get these at my local dollar store. I'm just going to make these black. Again, to go with the theme. And we'll just put those down there. Oops! Thought I forgot the back. Okay. And I'll just keep that out because I'm sure I'll make more. So right there are some tags. And instead of using the twine that I did before, we can certainly use our black and white. I've also got red and white. I've got, you know, green and white. There's, again, all the choices. Everything, the beauty of a junk journal and what I love about creating a junk journal is it helps to remove the everything must look the same, because it doesn't have to. That's what's nice about the junk journals. Nothing has to look the same. They can be very different, very unique. I mean, I can use black and white thread for these. The next tags or the next cards that I make, I can use red and white, or I could use blue and white. It all depends on what you're looking to create. And that's the fun of it. Now again, if there's a different, you know, style of junk journal that you want to make, again, they can be anything that you want to make. You don't have to have a vintage feel, so to speak. Like these two, they're two different lengths. You can use, if you have a lot of pattern paper, pull it out. Use some of it in a junk journal, so you could have a really nice, bright junk journal. You don't have to have coffee or tea stained or dyed papers. You can just use regular papers, regular copy paper and lined paper to fill your journal up with. That's the beauty of it. I've just always enjoyed the vintage feel that this has. So here are some general tags that we've now completed. So we'll set these aside. One of the other things that I know I had shown before are just general charms. Now I have many charms, or different styles of charms, let's say. I always have my wings. Gotta have your wings, or your feathers. And then here I have my Christmas ones. So just to have, now they're silver, I mean, but that's, you know, again, that's okay, because that's a cute little present. And I'm really liking that star. So I'll pull those out. And what I can do is I'll put one of those with that. And the bulb that I can use is a black one. Is that a black one? I don't know. I can't tell. Oh my goodness. So that's one of our little charms that'll come off our journal. And again, you can mix and match. It's okay. And trust me, I know, it took me forever to get used to that. It would absolutely drive me crazy. Now, one of the things that we'll definitely need is we need to have jingle bells. So I have those here. So we'll get an antique one and a gold one. And a red one. And another antique. So we'll put the antique on first, and then we'll put the gold one. Because see, we have to have, we have to have the jingles. It's a Christmas journal. So again, I'm just going to put the antique one on. And then I'm sorry, I've got glue all over my fingers. Oh my goodness. That is just amazingly disgusting. Oh my goodness. All right. Do I need another charm? Now, here's the other nice thing too. So, you know, I have these bulb safety pins. Now, you really don't need those. I mean, they are inexpensive, but here you can take a paper clip, and if I take one of my feathers, because that's kind of me, I can actually thread that onto the paper clip. So, you know, paper clips are fine. It's not going to come off, and it's fine just to dangle off the edge of your paper clip. Very much so. Absolutely. So, you know, again, you don't need to have, you know, those types of clips or anything else like that. All of the findings that I have here, I have found on Amazon. And I'm extremely frugal with those. I mean, I want to get, you know, a whole pack, a lot for good money, because I'm cheap. Well, let's just call it out what it is. All right, so now I want to make some small tags, and I'm going to show you how we use the papers to collage with. And I'm just covering up with the vintage photo, covering up the white. And then I will come in around the outsides with a little bit of the black, again, just to continue with the theme of what this is. And we'll just go around those edges. Now, of course, we'll do this again. Okay, so I just need to find the front. Okay, front, front, front. All right, now I know I have some small, so you can see how tiny this is. So I'm going to cut that in half, and actually I'm going to come in with my pinking so to make it look like a tag. So it's one. And that's two. All right, so we have two. So let's see. So what I'm looking for now is like a background that can just be adhered. Well, you know what I'm going to do? And somehow I think I lost. I did. Okay, there it is. No, it's It's not the one that I wanted, but you know what? We're going to go with it. Yay! All right, so let's... I just want to get some images on there. And know that when you make your ephemera, you will get inked. It's just what's going to happen. You just need to get used to it. Just bond with it, because it's going to happen. Okay, so now I have somewhat of a background on these, but I really like that there. And I think I think I'm actually going to take that and cut that. So say you can take your papers and you can cut them down. Again, it's paper. It's a wonderful thing. It's got two sides to it. It works. It kind of does all of the work for you. So I'm going to take this. And I'm going to glue that there. Just want to put that going across. And then I want to take this and I want to glue that going across. Because again, I will trim them. And I'm going to put that on there. And now I'm going to trim around that. I'm going to get the corners. And we'll go around these edges. That's one little tag. Let me see if I can get that close. Alright, so let's look at the other one here. Same thing. Just adhere that down there, and I'll be able to do the same thing. Now this one I gotta... Oh, I didn't think on that one too well. But that's okay. For those of you that have seen previous videos, you know I am not a fussy cutter. Oh, it takes a lot for me to do that. I'm just saying. Just saying. And now we've got that one. And again, these can be anything that you want. You can take these and also put them onto one of your charms. Now, I think this would probably go this way. So when it's stuck onto your book, you know, you have it like that. And then this one here, again, you can do the same thing with a paper clip. If I just take this and just turn it around, it will go around the paper clip. So again, I have it coming off of that. You don't need to have every single, you know, special tool that's out there. So don't, you know, don't get yourself, oh, I've got to have it. No, you know, use what you have. Look at what you have, and then you can just dive right in and use what you've got going on there. The next thing, what time have I got? Oh my goodness, it's almost an hour, but that's okay. So you can just see, now what I am going to do is I'm going to make a big tag so that you can see how I will pull in, and I'm actually going to use my trimmer for this because I want to pull this one down to be 6 inches, and then I want it to be 3.5. And then what I'll do is I'm going to trim off this corner. I'm going to flip it, turn it around, bring it around to the other side, and then I'm going to trim right up on that. And then that gives me the same size as my original tag here. So if I look at these papers and so forth that are here, you know, here's one of the pages that we used. So I can do this. I will cut right up it. And I'm going to tear along this side. What I'll do is I'll make one of these tags. I'll keep on going. I love tearing paper. How about you? It is very, very enjoyable, at least for me. And I think I'm going to take this, and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do that. Now, I'm going to come in with my vintage. I'm going to come in on the edge of that. That's going to sit there. And then same thing on this one. All right, so let's add some glue. I'm just going to glue that up there. I do like the Fabri-Tac glue a lot better. I'm coming in with my brayer because it kind of flattens that glue out. So then it gets to all of the edges. But I do like the Fabri-Tac. Now, it does have an odor. It's a strong odor. But I just like the way that it adheres quickly. And by using my brayer, it doesn't keep the bumps, if that makes sense. All right, now I'm going to trim these. So again, just by using the pages, we can create backdrops of our ephemera. And I will keep that page. Now what I can also do, if I wanted to, I could come in and have this coming down on the bottom. So if I want, I think I definitely want this up top. And I'm going to fold that over. So that's going to go up there. Grab a piece. You can put that there. I like the jingle bells. Now I'm letting this get crinkled in my hands. And again, it's a way to distress paper. So I'm going to put my material down first. Now I'm going to come in with this. And I'm going to set that on an angle. And I'm putting it on upside down. Did you all see that first? And I'm pressing down, but I'm not pressing too hard because I do like that texture that this is giving me. And as I said, we're going to take that and we're going to put that there. Now, what I also want to do is I'm going to punch the hole. Now, I'm going to put my, oh my. Yes, Fabertac does this. Now I can just mush that around. Yes. Oh, goodness, yes. Okay. Now, let's try it again. We'll match up this hole. And then I will follow up with 2 more of these. So, say just by using your papers, okay, you can create layers and layers. Now, the beauty of this right here, it's a tuck. You've actually created a tuck on your tag, so that when it sits in a pocket or if it's clipped in, you can actually put something right in that and it'll hold. Now what I'll do is I'll grab some twine. I'll grab a lot of twine, actually. And we'll thread that through. And I love long tassels on my tags. I just love it. They stick out the top of the journal. I think they're beautiful. And again, I'll just change the height on some of these. And what's great is if you do have, you know, this type of twine, if you take your paper creaser and just run it along the edge of it, it actually curls it. It's like that ribbon, you know, when you do that with your scissors, and you can see it gets all curly and cute, and all of that. So again, now that's a large tag that we made. Again, you're just focusing in on the papers that you have within. Like here's a journaling card. Again, I keep them all with rounded corners. So this here, what I would do, since I can see that, I'm going to take this and I'm actually going to glue that down, and then I'm going to cut it out. And I'll continue to build on top of that, if that makes sense. So let's put that right there. And now I'll cut that out. Again, I'll just use my cardstock as the guide. And I'll cut along that. So, and just by doing that, it looks like I have a postcard now. But that doesn't mean that I can't take, you know, this little tiny tag here and layer that there, or bring it over here, or even take it, cut that section out and put that there, or take that and layer it up that way. There's just so many different things that you can do. Now, one of the things that I did forget to do on my tag is go around the edges with the black soot. This is going to be tough for me to remember. Very much so. There we go. So you have that. So again, and that is something simple. It's all set. You've created a piece of ephemera, so we're going to set that aside. So again, that was just some of the pieces. We made a lot of charms when it came from the kit. Again, just focusing on those papers, you definitely have a lot. Let me clean this one up and we'll go through it. Where am I at? Okay, well, it's only 5 after an hour. Oh my. So We've created a charm using a paper clip. We've created another charm using one of the bulbs. We've created a paper clip by bending it. We have a couple jingle bells, because we have to have some jingle bells, absolutely. Even added in a red one there, so that's kind of cool. We've got a tag, got a pretty large tag. We've got a card, postcard. We created an envelope, and it's going to be held in by the paper clip with some small ephemera inside of that envelope. And we've created our closures. And then, of course, we have some general tags using both cardstock and our coffee stained papers. So in the matter of an hour, okay, in the matter of 1 hour, we were able to create these pieces here with the digital kit. And there's so much more that comes into the kit. And when you get these kits, I mean, it just keeps on going and going for you. So, you know, again, just by resizing them, you can get the different sizes, so you can do different types of ephemera. You can make them larger so that you can make larger pieces. These are the normal sizes. So I do hope you'll give it a try. I hope you craft it along with me. Now I've got a lot that I can clean up here, so that's awesome. But I do hope you're enjoying this. And again, this is day 16 within the 2013 Christmas series. And again, I do hope you enjoy it along with all of the other projects that are going on. Again, it's all about paper, and it's all about enjoying it as well. The products that I used will be listed down below if you want to check them out, read anything up on it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those down below as well, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I want to thank you so much for stopping by and just spending this little bit of time with me today. If you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you also ring the bell so that you know when the next video is ready for you to watch. But most of all, 1, enjoy your day, make it a good one. But number 2, and this is kind of the more important one, always be creative. Till next time, everyone.